Saturday morning, we had a program, and I believe this is regular programming for kids. You can see here we are walking in. There's even a clown. Clowns are very popular in Cuba. Let's go to the next slide. We're going to see a little bit more about this. Big turnout for this children's program on a Saturday morning. They kind of cleared seats for a lot of people sitting on the floor, a lot of children. Drama. We realized that drama was a feature of pretty much every worship service. The children were doing this one. If I remember right, Matthew 25, as you did it to the least of these, my brothers and sisters, so you did it to me. And these children did a really fine job of bringing that passage to life. Beautiful children. Now, I told you about this clown. We can identify the clown in the next slide here. This is our own Bud Jordan. Who was just clowning around. He's Bud, you're teaching us a song here, and I believe it includes "Put your right foot out." You put your right foot in. What is this song?
Put your right foot out and put your right foot in.
Okay, we'll just go with the title. Anybody? What's it called? The Hokey Pokey. Yeah, some of the finest of American culture. Next slide, we're also teaching them that classic, the chicken dance. You guys know this? Right, big hit. We learned some children's songs too. Very popular in Cuba and in other places in Latin America. I was doing some homework afterwards. The song Choo Choo Wah.
Choo choo wah, choo choo wah wah wah.
This is simply the sound of a train, a choo-choo. Right? Wah, wah, like this you often hear in Stuart. Choo-choo, wah, wah. So we came back with some learnings as well. All right. As part of that morning, there was the... I was a little alarmed when this began to happen. I thought, now Bud is disrobing in the church among these children, but you were handing over the clown reins to Dr. Leandro, who does work with youth and children in the church as well. So, yeah.
Well, I got the pants stuck on my feet, and they thought that was really funny.
All part of the act. Yeah, all part of the act. Then we distributed some gifts that you all had sent to the children. These are very popular, these little plastic crosses and things. Next slide.
I'd like to mention one thing about the
please
plastic
do.
crosses. You know, Mitzi, she provides a lot of these to us all the time. And if you know Mitzi, you own a plastic cross. When we arrived, everyone we met, they were already wearing the ones we'd sent in November. So it was very exciting to see that they truly did value them.
One of my trips, my final trip to the airport before actually leaving, this was on Saturday, we went on Wednesday, and Thursday the luggage didn't come, so I messaged Jill, hey, call JetBlue, find out, where is my luggage, and so a piece came on Friday, and then this piece came on Saturday. We were very anxious to get this piece. I'll show you why in the next slide. This included the keyboard that Margie had secured, and they were so happy to get this. They had a keyboard, which they were still using, and they passed that on to one of their two missions. They have two missions further outside of the town in rural areas, and now one of those has a keyboard, the old church keyboard, and they upgraded to this very nice used keyboard that Margie had located. Also in that luggage, do you remember on the first Sunday of February signing a banner? You remember signing this out in the foyer? Yeah. Well, we took it with us and we presented it in worship. I think this was during the Sunday school hour. There's Margie presenting this banner from our church to Methodist Church La Esperanza. We went on to Sunday school, and they have a lot of Sunday school classes, don't they? These are some of the children in the youngest class, doing some good coloring there. And my guess is maybe with the supplies that we brought.
You'll notice one's redheaded. You may see some pictures later on of little children with very white skin and very blonde hair and blue eyes. This is a Spanish influence from the settlers from Spain. Like the one baby, Eli David, he's very pale and very blonde, and both of his parents are medium-toned skin and black hair and dark brown eyes.
The miracle of recessive genes, I guess, huh? Yeah, yeah. Adult classes were often held outside, and we asked what they did in inclement weather. Well, they would move to somebody's house. But here is weather was beautiful as it is in February. They had 3 different discipleship classes going on. If you want to join the church in Cuba by baptism, and most people are not baptized because Christianity was frowned on by the government for many years. Catholic Church was allowed some liberty. The church grew a lot despite the persecution. But if you want to become a member, you work through these 3 classes, and they each take 8 weeks. You do the first discipleship class, then the second, then the third. So a lot of dedication on the part of people. And he has about 10 that are going to join the 66 present members coming up before long. They will all be baptized. I believe this is a young people's class right here. All right, let's see what we have on the next slide. Oh yeah, we met this guy, and we were going to encounter him again. We'll talk about that a little bit later. After Sunday school, we're back in for worship into the sanctuary, and yours truly got to preach, along with a translator. If you think my messages are long here, they're twice as long when they must be translated. So, the message that I preached was the one that I preached here the week before. It was the first of the 4 Stuart series, and I was sharing that this is what we were doing in First United Methodist Stuart, being more intentional about being for our community and what that looked like. And I was able to really praise them because they get it right. They really are for their neighbors. And when they hear of a need in that neighborhood, they're out there and they're meeting that need, and they're offering to pray for their neighbors, and they're telling their neighbors about Jesus and inviting them to trust Jesus in their hearts. And Pastor Juan put it to me this way. He said, we want people to realize that this is not another religion. This is a living relationship with Jesus that we're to enjoy every day.
I want to mention, too, that it didn't occur to me until I read the scripture. Every service, I think we worshiped 5 times, or 4, and plus the Children's Day. Every member of the church would need to kiss you on the cheek and say bendiciones, or blessings. And then I read it the other day in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 26, greet all God's people with a holy kiss. And they take that literally, and I've never been kissed that much in my life. I want you to know, by all ages, all kinds of people, and it was wonderful, and I didn't get sick.
Yeah, that applied to everybody in the church. Did you see how many kids were there? So we had a lot of kissing and hunting and pecking to do to get through that. The other thing that I thought was interesting is they don't really need a parking lot. We had a parking lot problem. Not one person in that church has a car.
Yeah. Marjorie, when we were at the dinner that we gathered at the Cuban restaurant in Port St. Lucie, you did a marvelous reenactment of the kissing. Could you give us a little demo of that? Very good.
Bendiciones.
Exactly like that. Yeah.
Dios te bendiga.
So we were kissed a lot. Next slide. We've taken a blank banner down for them for the church there to sign for us, and there they are doing it. And you notice this is displayed in our foyer for the last 2 weeks. It's there again this morning. That Sunday afternoon, we went out to visit one of the missions, and all the people had gathered. This is around a home. Had a little photo shoot as we learned about the work of one of their 2 missions, and we had been to the other mission earlier in the week. They also have 17 Bible studies going on. We're a church that we're probably 80 to 100 in worship, so it's quite remarkable. And I've tried not to be jealous, but they're praying for us as we're praying for them. One of the things we had here, Katie, I have a picture of you. What are you enjoying here?
Yeah, I want to talk about that.
All right.
Yeah, it's not a very good look on my face, but it was delicious. So we went into this home, and you can see from the outside it's all raw cinder block. And inside, this woman had made a lovely home. Their homes have little wooden chairs. There's no cushioned couches. There's no recliners. There's no TVs. The windows are all open. no screens. But this home was lovely. All their homes were lovely, decorated to their best, and very welcoming and very sweet. And so sweet, they served us honeycomb. I don't know if you've ever eaten honeycomb, but it's a big block of wax and honey. And probably you would eat this much. And she came up and she said, "Would you like to eat this?" And she was so sweet. I mean, it was a gift to us from them, which probably was not something they did very often, because I don't know how many honeycombs they had. It was a big honeycomb. So they cut us a block of honeycomb. On my plate, you can see it, it's very large. And so part of the face is I'm trying to get the honey out of the wax, and you kind of swish it around in your mouth, and the honey is marvelous, it's delicious. And then you spit out the honeycomb. But these people gave you everything they had when we were there. They treated us very sweet, like honey.
Oh, yes, indeed. You know, as a way of saying thanks, I'm not sure which of our team members did this, but the meals were prepared for us, so we prepared a snack for the workers, and there they are enjoying this. We had a lot of fun doing that. One of the things we experienced community, people like to just gather in the parsonage yard of the church just to play games and enjoy each other. You see here we are learning some Cuban dominoes. And next slide, I believe, Margie, I'm telling you that I'm concerned with how much Bo is enjoying this game. It's very easy to play. I could never figure out the scoring. I don't know if any of you figured out how that worked or not, but...
And the little holders for the tiles are handmade out of like a piece of tin from the roof, because of course they don't have anything to buy anything fancy with, so they just make whatever they need.
Yeah, those did not come from Walmart. They dominoes were bought someplace, but those trays, homemade. All right, we did have a day where we toured Ogain, and here's one of the modes of transportation. Bo, you took this picture. What's this called?
It's a BC taxi, it's called. And,
BC as in
bicycle.
initials, or as first letters of bicycle?
Uh-huh.
BC taxi.
And sitting out in front of, this was the city compared to Buenaventura, which was more of a small town. And just sitting out there, it was fascinating to me just to watch and see the different modes of transportation that were there. In the city, probably 75% of the city ran on either the BC taxi or a guy with a bicycle and just one little seat next to it that they kind of bolted on, or again the horse-drawn carts. You didn't see hardly any pickup trucks. Everything pretty much that we would use a pickup truck for, it would be a horse-drawn cart, and they would take building supplies, they would take drinking water, they would pull little wagons behind it, and it would kind of be more like a mini bus that would be there, but there would be the horse up in front. And they took very, very good care of their animals, which is pretty unique, I think, for this part of the Americas, is that in the Caribbean, the dogs were very well cared for, the horses were very well cared for, and they had pets there. So there was a little different feel there, but they appreciated the value of the horse as being, part of their transportation and part of their livelihood.